What's new and exciting at EIZO for this show?
So what we're showing this year is our integration with Genetec. We have a great integration built by demand from our customers. What it allows them to do is take the cameras that are already on the Genetec platform and push them out to our monitor. Because our monitor is just basically an end device. So we can take any stream from Genetec, from a camera, and as well as other VMSs, display those streams seamlessly.
So in the past, the box was sort of a standalone box that allowed users to have something other than a workstation sitting at an entrance or somewhere like that where a person would want to be able to see cameras that were local to them without having to have a workstation associated with a VMS. Yep. Now we're saying that the device is actually integrated to a VMS, Genetec in this case, which allows the user who's responsible for operating the Genetec system to control what goes on to the monitors that are around the system. In this case, they could just be EIZO monitors with the EIZO built-in decoder.
Absolutely. So the big advantage here is the ability to remove the PC out of the equation. So when you install a Windows PC, that adds a lot of cybersecurity risks. It makes another thing you have to manage. More licenses to purchase, just an overall larger task. By installing our IP decoding monitor or our brand new IP decoding box, we now have the ability to take those streams directly, display them with minimal footprint on the network, and very little maintenance that you have to do, because all the maintenance is through the Genetec platform or another VMS. Our API is fairly universal.
And that leads me into another question. Right now we're doing Genetec, right? Mm-hmm. What are the plans for doing some other VMSs?
So all of our development is client demand based. So we can build a integration with any other VMS. Our API is universal, so it can work with people like Milestone and many other VMSs.
That's pretty awesome. One of the other things that we want to talk about, in the past we had devices that were monitors that had built-in software hardware devices. The new thing for EIZO is actually a separation of that. So that's a product that basically breaks that piece of electronics that you're talking about out of the monitor so that customers can use their own displays. In the future, they could use their own displays to connect to the box to do that. But we also still offer the same product built into the monitor as well, right? So this is just a new step for everybody for the future. Do you want to show that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's show that. Let me describe a little bit of what this is. So in the first generation of decoders, we had 16 streams we could manage and display on our 46-inch and our 23-inch monitor. It was all integrated. So let me show you now the new box, which can support 64 cameras or 32 streams simultaneously. The IP box, the DX0211 IP, this box can be mounted on the back of the monitor. It can also be standalone, or you can put it in a rack as well. So in this case, we're dumping it on the back of our 32-inch 4K monitor, a simple HDMI cable to the monitor, as well as our PO network cable. It'll take the power straight off the switch as well. So in this case, we have it on an offset plate, so it'll mount it on a plate that's in between the stand and the VESA bracket on the monitor. The IP box will connect up to 2 monitors. So if you had, say, a video wall with big 75-inch 4K monitors, this could drive 2 of those and could display up to 32 channels simultaneously.
So Brian, one of the other things I want to get back to is the standalone capability of the unit, which is what we're seeing on the monitor behind us. One of the really neat new features of the box is the way to control it. In the past, we would connect a mouse and a keyboard to it, and we could do some of the control like that. One of the other new things that came along with some of the newer models is what? How to interface to it using a web interface. Why don't we talk a little bit about that for a second so that customers understand that, because again, this is a new function and a new feature for this unit. It allows remote capability or remote control capability. You don't have to walk out and connect a mouse and a keyboard to it.
Yep, so all of our decoder platforms now have a web user interface. With our newest generation, we have a lot more tools into it for more advanced network security as well as some event management. However, you can register all your cameras, you can create your layouts, you can control your position of the layout, as well as adding in different events responses. So if there's a alert, our monitor can receive that and display it, and then you can acknowledge it straight on the monitor.
And that can be either an alert coming directly from an IP camera, or a contact closure or some other type of alert in the case of the integration from a Genetec type
Correct.
thing.
Yes.
One of the other neat things I think that that the product offers is, I did mention you could connect a USB mouse and a keyboard. We can also lock those ports so that the box can be out in the field and controlled centrally, and somebody can't walk up and plug a keyboard or a mouse into it and make changes to it. That's kind of a new feature as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've added that at the request of some customers. Like you said, we added the ability to lock out the USB ports, the IR remote. We even have the ability to lock out the web interface if you don't want to. If you really want to lock it down to be just a view device and give it no remote control capability. So this thing really can be turned into a pure camera display device.
Brian, thank you very much for your time, and have a good show at the ISC in 2019.
Thank you.